Hi, everyone, and welcome to SellerApp's live channel where we talk about things that actually matter on Amazon platform. You get all your latest news here, and we're here to answer your questions. So, in this session, we are going to be talking about 2021 because I'm sure that most of you are done running your campaigns, and I hope everyone's doing a really good, everyone's having a really good session in Amazon world. And now we are here to discuss how you can maintain those profits in 2021. So this session is going to deal with tips and tricks, and we are going to be telling you things that will help you maintain your profits in the upcoming years. So the guests for today's live are Sunitha Sundaran. She's back on popular demand. So she's our PPC and Amazon listing optimization expert. And we have Yoni Mazor from Getida who will be joining us later. And he will tell you how you can work around the Amazon fees. And if you want to have any questions on reimbursements, or if you have any questions on shipments, you can shoot those to Yoni, who will be joining us a little bit later. So before we get started, I just want to tell you 5 things that you have to keep in mind for next year. So go grab a pen and pencil, go grab a piece of paper, keep that hot chocolate aside, because I think now we're in like an actual holiday mood. I'm in my holiday sweater. I have not removed my blanket and I've been just chilling. So I understand that we all are in a very festive mood right now. But believe me, these 5 things are going to help you for next year. So get that pen and paper and let's get started. So how you can get more profit in 2021. So to begin with, you need to do a thorough market research. So sometimes there is a shift in the market, or we see that your target audience might change. So for 2021, I advise everyone to do a thorough market research from all over again and see if you're right on track. And second one is these are the things that you have to do for more profits, keeping listing optimization and PPC aside. So those two always have to be on point. But if you're wondering what you can do extra, I'm just giving you those things. So to begin with, do thorough market research and start repricing. So for repricing 2021, see what worked for you before. So do a historic analysis of your prices, see which converted the most and get to that price. Second will be tracking supplier price changes. So as we know that because of COVID, we have seen a lot of changes in supplier market. So we have seen that there's suppliers are charging more and shipping has become a little bit more expensive. So track your supplier price charges. And this is my favorite advice of all. It's inspect your returns and removals. So most of the inventory that you get back from Amazon can be resold, refurbished, or reinvested. This advice was given to me by Yoni. So he'll be joining us later in the session. So if you have any more questions, you can just shoot it to him. And you need to understand that if you can, most of the customers that are returning your products are doing it not because there's something wrong with your product, but it's mainly because they want to save on their shipping charges. So if you are certain about that, you can either resell, refurbish, or reinvest your inventory, and we'll get more into it later in the session. So I see that the chat is lighting up. So if you have any more questions, or if you just want to say hi, just do it in the chat box below. And hello, and so it's time for me to call Sunitha now. So Sunitha Sundaran is our listing optimization and our PPC expert, as I've mentioned. And let me just get her on this live stream. Hi, Sunitha.
Hello to everybody.
Hi, how's it going, everyone? So I'm going to introduce Sunitha again. I mean, I'm sure people are familiar with her introduction already because she's been here for so many times. So Sunitha is an Amazon e-com expert specializing in PPC management and listing optimization. She's helped over 1,000 businesses from around the world boost their sales and build their brands online to create the best-selling product pages. Amazon listing that sells is Sunitha's motto and has always been her motto, and I've seen her do that. So, Sunitha, I remember you working on a storefront the other day. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure, storefronts are important. It's everything about Amazon is important. There are few things that Amazon lets you do without a lot of restrictions. Usually, most of the things have tons of rules. Even storefronts do have a lot of restrictions, but storefronts are like your website on Amazon. So it lets you list down all the products together. So this helps you not just on Amazon when people come to your page and they visit the product and they see, the small blue link that says, let's say you're selling a brand, let's call it X. So let's say you're selling a brand X. So there's a small link that says visit brand X storefront. So that means that people are interested. There are very few people who would actually, take the trouble to type it on Google, find all the rest of the products that you're selling. But these storefronts help that way. Also, if you're trying to send traffic off of Amazon, you're running Facebook advertisements, you're running Instagram advertisements. Now that it's Christmas, everybody's trying to make the most of it. So I'm hoping that all of you guys are already doing all those things. So Amazon storefronts are a great way to get people to know all of your products and still purchase them. It also drives brand value. They know if you're selling tens of products, or if you sell t-shirts and hats and shoes and whatnot, or if you sell, let's say you sell tea, you have hundreds of variations, you have hundreds of flavors. They could look through all of it. Possibly for the next purchase, they know, oh, I remember having looked at this brand that sold this tea. So storefronts are something that you should work on. You should put some time and effort to design it so that people don't look at it and think, oh, this is a badly designed web page again. But instead, try to put some thought into how your branding has to be. I've seen pages that are really bad, something that's like, oh, what is this? So, like that. So try not to do that. Try to create a page that looks very interesting. The Amazon lets you put up these really nice modules, something that you can really force a purchase. Whether most of the times I end up purchasing from brands just when I'm surfing. I would have never come there trying to buy the product, but just looking at their products and the way they've put things and the way you market your products, that's important. So all of this can be done in a much better way when you have a storefront. So if you are brand registered and you have the opportunity to set up a storefront, do it.
Yeah, and yeah, because I think branding has become so important on Amazon now. It's like Amazon is coming up with new ways. Like you have Amazon Posts and now you have Amazon Storefront. So I think sellers can explore that in 2021. And what do you think about sellers exploring different channels? Because I think this is for 2021, I think this is a really good advice. Why don't you explore new channels? If you're not selling on EU, try selling on EU. Sunitha, what do you think? Which, according to you, marketplace is buzzing right now?
So Amazon US is definitely the biggest marketplace.
Yep.
Along with being the biggest comes the equal amount of competition. So I know sellers who sell in US, UK, and multiple other places, even China, India, and Japan. So many a times you see their products start ranking in Canada and in the other marketplaces much faster, and they make so much money than they do in the US just only because there's lesser competition.
Yep.
There's definitely no guarantee that all of your products will sell better than how they sell in the US. It depends on a lot of factors, including even if people want to buy their product in Canada or possibly in Japan. So if you have the ability to list in multiple marketplaces, you should do so. While doing this, another thing to look at, something that most people fail to consider, is the price point. So
Yep.
if you're priced in the US at $15, you just convert it based on the Canadian dollars and you price it there, it might not really work out. It depends on what is the market price, how competitors are priced there. So you'll have to do a bit of a research in Canadian marketplace or possibly UK or whichever is a marketplace that you're trying to sell, including the keywords. Sometimes there are keywords that are ranked so much better, that have so much search volume, and definitely the way people search in the UK is different from the way people search in the US. So you'll have to put some attention onto how exactly your listings are in the US as compared to the other marketplaces. Along with that, you might sell really better in the other marketplaces if your product is something that's desirable in that particular region. So 2021, there are a lot of opportunities, and especially with Amazon allowing, bringing in global selling, that there are a lot of people who are taking this up now. Though it's been there for quite some time now, most sellers are trying to explore those marketplaces. So before it becomes the next Amazon US, start selling there so that you can make the most out of it.
Yeah, you know what's more interesting? Like, I was just having a discussion with one of our clients today, and you know what they said? They were like, our US online retail has taken over brick and mortar now. So people are selling more online than they're selling, via in shops. And that fascinates me. I mean, last year and this year has been crazy. So we can only expect 2021 to be crazier. And one more thing to keep in mind while Sunitha was talking about price points, if you're trying to sell on Amazon EU, I had a session with Prabhat recently, and he told me that different EU markets have different VAT prices. So you need to make sure that while you're checking your prices, make sure that you have VAT included or excluded, or you figure out your VAT situation as well. So I'm going to take some questions from the chat section here. To begin with, welcome back, Arunation. We have missed you, and thank you for supporting SellerApp's live constantly. So, hello. And Anthony has a question. Hi, Riya and Sunitha. Hi, Anthony. I'm curious to know if there are any other ways to drive traffic to my listing, excluding Amazon PPC. Can you suggest a few ways to get a good ROI? So, we had recently posted a video on how to increase ROI. Sunitha did that, so I think she's the best person to answer this question. Go ahead, Sunitha.
Hi, Anthony. It's good to hear from you. It's interesting that most people are trying out new methods. Earlier people wouldn't want to even look at different methods of advertising, different ways of promoting products, even though we had to literally force them to do in back um, possibly 3-4 years back. But that's something that's really helpful, not just while you start off, but also something that helps you build as you go. So if you're trying to build a brand, it's important for you to create that space, not just around in Amazon, but also in the other places. And marketing through the other channels not just drives traffic, but also creates that brand value. So this is something that I've been observing and working, doing a lot of A/B testing in the past 1 month to understand how different channels promote your brand value. So if there's a product, so many times a product outside of Amazon is never found. It's a brand with so many reviews and ratings, and you come outside of Amazon, look at it, there's absolutely no presence. So that might work for some time when there's no competitor who can take over you. But once you lose that position, you again fall back down and you'll have to build it up from scratch. And again, the other channels, we will talk about what are the other channels, but other channels is something that help you keep the momentum going even outside of Amazon, and also to drive traffic onto Amazon. So you can always take the traditional digital marketing way of going through Google. Google helps you set up advertising. It's absolutely easy once you learn how to do it, just like how it is on Amazon. There's also Instagram. Now that everybody has an Instagram and Facebook account, everybody here does. I've hardly met people who don't keep scrolling on Instagram like day in and day out. So Instagram is something that's becoming a very product oriented platform, which also requires you to create that marketing change. So there's everybody who's advertising products. So not just on Amazon, it's also important that you create that brand value outside of Amazon. So you can always advertise through Google, you can advertise through Facebook. Facebook lets you target your audience in a much better way. Amazon is still building on how to target your audience based on interests. So that's something that you can build while you're on Facebook. You can look at people, let's say you're selling something, you're a small business who's selling organic and natural products. So you can look at people who promote small businesses, who love small businesses. There are a lot of people who actually make the effort to promote and support small businesses. You can target based on every interest possible. People who like looking at handicraft and handmade products. So every possible thing that you can, put piece down in your head, it's possible to target those based on the age, based on the gender. All of this is possible in different targeting through Facebook and Instagram. So that's something that you can explore, which is not yet that well built in Amazon. They're still building it up. I'm sure Amazon is also trying to get smarter and smarter every day in terms of what they offer to sellers and how to target. But right now, those channels help you very much. Other than that, there are also people who use coupons to promote their products in addition to driving traffic through Facebook and Instagram. So that's something that works really well. So the first 100 people get a coupon discount. So you can always refer back to help documents. There are multiple documents that even SellerApp has made on how to set up one-time use coupons, 100 units. So all of this helps you not only drive traffic, but also convert. So that's something that answers the second question, how to increase your ROI. So ROI is all about, if you put in $1, how much you make back, and how could you make it more. So if you're putting $1, you need to make $10, you need to increase it to $15. How do you make that going? So there are different ways, not just setting up discount coupons. You can offer products as a combination. So there's bundling that Amazon's provided right now, which you can explore while you're driving traffic from outside. So you cannot market all these products together in Amazon. But while you're sending traffic off of Amazon, if you have a bundle, so let's say you're selling 3 different types of let's take a random product. Let's say you're selling 3 different types of t-shirts, something that complements each other, or something. Let's say you're selling a black t-shirt, white t-shirt, and a gray t-shirt. Anybody would want to buy them. If you're selling art kits, they would definitely want to buy a pen, a set of pencils, let's say canvas. All of this can be put together as a bundle on Amazon, virtual bundles. While you're driving traffic outside of Amazon, you can explore this. This is something that I found really valuable to increase ROI. So while you are increasing ROI, in the other video, I've only been talking about how important numbers are, how much you should look at your costs, what are your expenses versus how much you're making. So that's again something you must keep in mind to increase your ROI. And along with that, try to explore as many things as possible that will help you increase the average product purchase value. So if you're selling one product and you have another product that is possibly not selling really well, by creating a bundle, it'll start appearing in the bottom column. Once people land on Amazon, it might increase the purchase value. If it does, then it's something that you could promote much more in your channels outside. So I hope this really helps, and you must definitely give it some time. That's something that most people don't. They get really impatient. So give it some time that it starts picking up while you're driving traffic from outside of Amazon.
Yep. And I think we're going to take one more question before I call Yoni on screen. So I see that Yoni has joined the live and he'll be here in a couple of minutes. So if that answered your question, Anthony, please let us know in the comment section below. And do check out our latest video, which is also on how you can increase ROI. So that will help you out quite a lot. And for the next question, we have Matthew. Hi, Matthew. It says, how to handle my PPC campaigns after Q4? Should I stop running them? To begin with, do not stop running them. PPC campaigns are essential. If they're working for you, keep running them. But I think Sunitha is going to give you a little bit more detail. So take the stand, Sunitha.
Hello. So this is a very, very interesting question that Matthew has. So this is something that, let me actually give you some general information before we actually get into your question. PPC campaigns during Q4, they run crazy. You run out of budget, you are pumping in more money. If you haven't planned it already, this is a tip. You will need more budget than you do in your usual days. So make sure that you have some extra budget set up for your PPC campaigns in Q4. But one of the things you have to keep in mind is something that works around Q4 might not work as you keep going. But at the same time, stopping them is possibly the most stupidest thing you could do. So PPC campaigns work really well during Q4 only because there's so much of interest from people. A lot of people are trying to purchase decorations, they're trying to purchase gifts, they're trying to buy things just because there are discounts, which means that a lot of people are trying to make use of what discounts are there. It is basically everybody is setting up discounts, and they sale everywhere in every possible brand they can think of. Anything, even people are purchasing socks and even mats and anything that's not even Christmas related. That's only because everyone knows that there are going to be discounts. But the thing what you have to do with your PPC campaigns during Q4 is that you collect this data. This data gives you information on what worked in December this year. So you know what are the interests among people. This definitely cannot be replicated possibly in the summer, because the interests of people during that time, the search volume and the number of people who might possibly come up and look for products will definitely be lesser. So the PPC campaigns might not work exactly the way it works during December, possibly in Feb or March. But the thing that can help you is the information that you get out of it. The keywords that show up in the searches. What sort of keywords do show up? So you can always identify additional interests. So many a times you find your product being purchased as a brand alternative. So you know that you have to go back and look at that particular brand and figure out what are the things that your brand comparatively does better than that one. So if you have had the most sales from their brand name, then you know that there's some value that people are finding. And you should definitely look at banking on that. So this is something that helps, but this data what you get during Q4 is very, very valuable for the next year to do much more better. But if you stop running your PPC campaigns, I'll tell you what happens. Your momentum that you've gained during this period, during December, that will start dropping down. That's only because Amazon looks at visibility and how people purchase products in a very great way to rank your products for different keywords. So if you start ranking in page 1 for a particular keyword, eventually you can see that the BSR starts reducing, you start showing up for more keywords. So all of this happens only because you're driving more sales. So if you start running your PPC campaigns, suddenly the visibility that you got from your PPC campaigns, by visibility, it's the clicks and the sales and the impressions. So people are looking at your product, they are coming onto the product page and they're purchasing it. So this drastically drops as compared to your organic traffic. So this is something that might do quite bad. Then saving money, if you're thinking you'll save money by stopping your PPC campaigns, you might not really do that. If you have the stock, if you can afford to keep the stock going without going out of stock, without losing complete traction, then keep the campaigns running, but do it wisely by looking at what keywords have converted to most for you. So use those keywords to keep running campaigns in a much better way. So you can start looking at how to reduce your ACOS. How do you increase your profit margin? How do you start reducing your ACOS so that you can reach your target ACOS faster? What are the different keywords that you could start getting visibility for? So these things help you reach your sales volume much faster, and you can reach your targets faster. So that's what I would advise. Don't stop running your PPC campaigns, but try to run them in a much smarter way.
Yes, I completely agree. And okay, so now we invite Yoni, but before I invite Yoni, I just want to put something out there. If you have questions specifically to how you can prepare for next year, we're going to be taking those for now. And the other questions, you can definitely, come to SellerApp and then send us an email and we'll get back to you then. So Sunitha, I am going to be putting you into the waiting room because we're going to call Yoni now.
Hi guys,
So
soon again.
yes, we will see you soon again. Okay, bye-bye. And now we have Yoni. Yoni is one of my favorite people when it comes to selling on Amazon, because he was an Amazon seller himself. So he sold on Amazon for quite some time, and he made $20 million selling in the most competitive category, which is fashion. And he also comes with ideas, special Navy intelligence. So he's like super smart. I'm just letting that out there. But you will hear him talk about that Navy part of it, and let's just get him on the screen. Hi, Yoni. How's it going?
Great. How's everybody doing?
Good. So I'm seeing you after so long. So this is great. How you been?
Been busy, thank God. I just want to say that I love your background. I'm not sure what it is, but it's really, really cool. The design.
So I had to improvise today, and for those of you watching, this is my bed sheet because I had to improvise today. Things have been crazy. So thank you, Yoni. So talking about preparations for 2021, what according to you can sellers do to stay profitable in the Q1?
Got it. So, yeah, this is probably the most important question that any seller can ask themselves because, as far as I know, I have never met an Amazon seller who sells not for profit, meaning I never saw like a government organization that's trying to sell and not make any profit.
Yep.
All the sellers are trying to make profit, and that's really what they all work for. And they work really hard. They source the product, they design it, they launch it, they market it, they brand it, and so much, so much, so much. And if you generate all these sales, even if it's millions and millions of dollars, but nothing trickles down, and you make a profit, and maybe even taking a loss, or you're generating losses, that's a major issue. So at the end of the day, sellers always have to remember the purpose. The purpose is to make profit. There's money you can take out of the business, then invest in your life. Have a good life with your family, or give donation to charity, whatever it is that makes you feel good, then have a good, comfortable life. Um, so now that we know that's the purpose, looking forward, what can be done? There's many ways. Any organization can make themselves more profitable, but I guess the most important tool to be able to work towards that goal is to have a tool that helps you to understand your profitability. So obviously, when selling online, there's a lot of fees, a lot of stuff like that. You need a good, healthy platform. For example, SellerApp is a very good platform for knowing the numbers from all around, know what's going on, how much you're investing in, in advertising, how much you're investing in, whatever it is, all the features that you are investing in and putting money into to operate your business, right? Because think about it. Because the former presenter was talking about PPC, right, and the ROI, the return on investment. I didn't catch the name. What was her name again? Sunitha, right?
Her name is Sunitha. Yep.
Yeah, so that was very smart. The ROI, return on investment. You as an organization put money in to operate the business, and you invest in all these functions, and how much you're going to get out of it. So knowing your numbers is crucial. So first of all, you have a good software, have a good ability to adopt into new software that helps you to get as much visibility as possible. So you can really easily calculate how much money am I putting in and how much money is coming out of it in return, right? Another quick way to do it, if anybody needs, if anybody wants, you can visit getida.com//profit. Once again, getida.com, which is getida.com/profit. And we have a free tool. That free tool is simply a template where you can throw in this template all your business expenses, whatever you can think of. For the business that you did, you can put all the expenses there, and hopefully, by having all the expenses there and knowing how much money came in, you'll be able to see how much money is coming out in profit. So once again, you need to clearly identify the profit on many levels of the marketplace, but also as a business, as an organization, right? Because you have payroll for your employees, that you pay them. You have import duties if you're importing from overseas products into the marketplace. So let's say if you sell in the United States, all these money that goes everywhere, you have to make sure you know where it's going and how much is left in your pocket. So having the right tools, having the right software, and having the right setup is very important. Now, after you have that setup and you know where all the money is going, you have the ability to run the business more efficiently. Say, hey, I think I'm spending a bit too much over in this function, and I'm getting some kind of low return. So what can I do to improve my return? Classic simple example is advertising, or PPC campaign. If your A cost is 30-40%, what can you do to remove, to lower down? Any percent that goes down helps. That's on an easy level that any Amazon seller can understand. But the same rule applies to the entire business. How much am I paying to have all this big team of employees? Let's say you have 10, 20, 30, 400 employees. How do you evaluate each one of them? How are they helping you? What's their productivity? So selling online is a very KPI driven or industry, which means key performance indicators. Every employee, every member of the organization, there's an ability to put into numbers what is the performance, how many emails they're sending every day, how many emails they're answering every day, for example, right? It depends if they're doing customer service, right? If you're getting 100 emails a day and they're only answering 20 emails a day, what can be done to increase that? So you find all these places and things in your organization where what does the number say, where are we now, and how can we improve it? Some things need to go up, right? Like profits, but something needs to go down, which is expenses. That's kind of the overall equation. So looking into 2021, after we got all this high level discussion out of the way, where what can be done to generate more profits, one simple way to make profits that we know and we specialize in is helping Amazon sellers get money back from Amazon, right? In reimbursements. For example, if you sell on Amazon and you join our company Getida, it's free to join. It doesn't cost anything. We're gonna go back 18 months and we're gonna go through all your data. And if we're going to find any issues that happen in your account in regards to FBA to fulfill by Amazon, let's say any product got lost, damaged, destroyed, disappeared, disposed, or got overcharged for whatever fees, we're going to find that. So our technology is going to find that. But after we find it, our service team is going to open cases in your behalf. They're going to deal with all the back and forth with Amazon until there's a reimbursement. And essentially getting all that money that was about to get lost, because you got 18 months to claim it, and after 18 months it just simply goes away, all that money, instead of going away, it goes back into your organization. And if it's successful, it successfully goes back to your organization, all that money is going to go back to the bottom line, to your profits. It's going to really, because there's no cost attached to it. So that really helps improving your profitability and generate more cash and more revenue into your business, and hopefully reinvest it into the next PPC campaign and the next product launch. Maybe buy yourself a new car, whatever really makes you feel good, and hopefully give you motivation to grow your business.
Yep, well said. So, I'm sorry, but I lost internet connection in the middle. So if you all have some questions that you posted before, please post them again because I've lost them. And Yoni, I remember you talking about, in our last Q4 session, that one way that sellers can make profit is they can inspect their returns and removals. So most of the inventory can be either resold, refurbished, or reinvested. So if you can talk a little bit more about that, that would be amazing.
Yeah, you got it. So it's, statistically speaking, we find out that from all the FBA unfulfilled units, right? So when you sell on Amazon FBA, there's two statuses: fulfillable units, right? That's the first one. Let's use this finger. So the first one is fulfillable. The second one is unfulfillable, right? So a lot of the Amazon sellers, FBA sellers, think, okay, if my products are unfulfillable, let me just throw it away. That's an option. Another option is to take the units back and do something about it. So our statistics show that from all these unfulfillable units, about 80% of them, sometimes even higher, they're perfectly fine. There's no issues with them. You should be able to get it back into your warehouse, or 3PL warehouse, whoever you use. You inspect it. You take a look at what's going on, the condition of the product, and if it's good to go back to Amazon to FBA, you send it back. Okay, because sometimes we find that the reason is that we have all these unfulfillable units. For example, I'm going to give an example, right? So if a customer on Amazon buys your product, and then they want to return it, they want to send it back and get a refund, and they just say, you know what, I changed my mind, I don't want this product, right? So Amazon will tell them, okay, send it back. We're going to charge your credit card $2-3 for a shipping label and send it back. So some customers know that if they're gonna say that something's wrong with the item, maybe it's defective or whatever, they're not gonna have to pay that $2-3 to ship it back. So that's what happens. Essentially, they say that something's defective. So Amazon's like, okay, here's a free shipping label, ship it back to us. And then when Amazon gets a product back, they're not gonna inspect it and really see that it's nothing wrong with it. It's brand new, not even touched. They're simply gonna change the status to unfulfillable, and then it's up to the seller to make a decision if you wanted to throw it away or maybe take it back, see that it's really all good, it's in a good standard, and then send it back to FBA. So that's kind of the dynamics of how it works with FBA removals. You had another question. Sorry, you wanted to put it in there.
Yeah, so one of the questions says that how do you manage shipments with the new Amazon restrictions, which is the 200 units for new products in the United States?
Yeah, that's a tough question. So obviously, if they put a physical limit on your account, it's 200 units for the shipment. Not too many ways around it. It's kind of arbitrary. So I would say that another option to be able to keep on selling your products with no interruption is to really become this year critical for Amazon sellers to have a fulfillment by merchant option, where you have your own warehouse or you take a 3PL warehouse that can list your products as seller fulfilled or FBM, fulfilled by merchant. So essentially, if you ever stock out of FBA, immediately the fulfilled by merchant takes the position, so you keep generating sales. You don't lose your rank, your best sellers rank, and you keep flowing like that. So that's something that we saw that it becomes really, really crucial. Once again, this 200 units limitation does not apply for every single ASIN and every single product. So the products that are affected in your catalog by these restrictions, at this point, the easiest and most reliable thing to do is really set up fulfillment by merchant ability in your organization.
Yeah, so I always advise them to do the same thing. So if you're not running FBM and FBA together, you should totally do that and make sure that you have two different listings for FBA and FBM. So if you have any more questions relating to reimbursements or shipping, do let us know. But it's time for us to call Sunitha on screen and talk a little bit more about listing optimization and PPC. So, hi, Sunitha.
Hello again.
Hi,
Yes.
Sunita. Nice to see you.
Hello, how are you
So I
doing?
feel
Good,
like
good.
I'm formally obligated to introduce you to Sunitha meet Yoni, Yoni meets Sunitha. Are two guest speakers and Amazon experts. So I have questions for both of you. So do you have any advice that you would want to give people who are planning to start selling this new year, which is 2021? So right now we can talk about sourcing, choosing between FBA, FBM, and just how to go about that process and anything new that might or might not happen on Amazon if they plan to remove something or they're planning to add something new. So starting with Yoni, what do you advise our new aspiring sellers that are planning to sell on 2021?
Yeah, so if you were fresh into the game, you're coming to win. Just so you know, to be fair and honest, um, have patience. Have a lot of patience. There's a lot of learning involved. Amazon grows very, very fast and very quickly, and things that are are relevant today, by almost like a few hours later, they might change. It's that quick. I started selling online about 10 years ago, and specifically on Amazon about 7 years ago. Different landscape. When we at the early days wanted to do Amazon PPC, you just put an ace in, and it's automatic and everything. That's it. You go to bed, you go to sleep. Today it's so complicated. There's so much variation, so many opportunities. It's so robust. So that's, for me, it's an easy indicator to see, to recognize how far and how much it grows. So there's a lot of there's a long learning curve. So as long as you're really good at learning new things and adapting constantly to new technologies, new solutions, new data points that you need to consider, you're probably going to do very, very well in this industry. Once again, it's very data driven. It's really all about the numbers. It's almost absurdly mathematical. Even though you're dealing with humans, you're trying to essentially solve a problem for humans, right? When you sell a product, it has some sort of utility. If it's a toy, you need to play with it. If something for the kitchen, it needs to help you, prepare food. So you're touching humans with utility, but the way to get there, there's so many ways, there's so many trails, and there's so many blocks in the trail that might try to block you. It could be competition, it could be lack of understanding the data or lack of visibility. So many components. So if you have the right mindset to it and you have patience, and I want to say if you're brave also, you're
Yes.
gonna have a good opportunity to do this. But the good news is that there's so many solutions out there, and if you're simply good at adapting them, you're gonna do great. So it might take a few months, maybe even a year or so, to kind of get things started and really touch the profits and taste the taste of success in e-commerce. And then it's gonna be very hard to look back, because it's kind of addicting.
No, very well said. It is addicting. And I also want to add that if you already have a product idea and if you're wondering where to source them, SellerApp has a new product sourcing tool in partnership with Alibaba. So we have made your job so much easier. So just go on our website under the free tool section, click on our product sourcing tool, and you're sorted. Believe me when I say that.
That's
And
awesome.
coming to you, Sunitha, 2021, how do sellers approach it, especially new sellers?
New sellers. This is something that I saw in the chat as well, that somebody was talking about Amazon's restrictions on new
Yeah.
sellers. They can send only 200 units. So that's something that new sellers are really worried about. Most of the people keep telling me, should I even do PPC campaigns once I sell out of my 200 units? What do I do? Or is it even the right time for me to launch? There were a lot of people with confusions. If there are such people still there who are still thinking, okay, what should I actually be doing? Does it even make sense? So the first thing that you must do is convince your supplier. So it's always easier to source 2,000 units at one shot than getting 200 units, right? So that's something that you have to provide to the supplier. You have to tell them that, hey, if this does really well, I will be ordering more from you. So that's something that you must keep in mind while you are building a relationship with your supplier, because you're trying to build a relationship that's supposed to go really long term. And another thing, if you already have a budget, you could also source more. I mean, you could actually pay for more and get only 200 units, and the rest you could keep it. And if it doesn't really go, you could call it a test run if you're able to build that sort of a relationship with your supplier only. So this is a word of caution. Only if you're able to do that, then you could already pay for more and you start looking at your initial 200 units. They're selling well. It is expected that Amazon will actually open up more, allow you to send more units. They are trying to build more fulfillment centers. They're trying to launch more units so that you can send in more units. But once you sell out this 200 and you cannot stock more, so what do you do? So once you're out of stock, instead of stopping, what you could do is, if you have the possibility to shift to FBM, then that's the best thing to do. Or you could also go in for a third party logistics. You can that's the best thing to do instead of stopping and waiting for Amazon to lift off the ban. So this is something that, not the ban, but the restriction. So this is something that every new seller who's just launching has to keep in mind, along with launching the right way. So this is something that I cannot stress upon enough, and this is something that I've been talking about for a very long time, that when you're launching, you get that easy, nice, breezy period where Amazon lets you rank faster. So so many times you see that you leave a product when unattended when you are just launching. You try to launch a couple of other products. You try to launch the third product maybe once after the first two are built. You will definitely notice that it's much harder. That's only because Amazon lets you have that, I'd rather say, the honeymoon period, where Amazon is all pretty chilled about you launching a product. They let you start ranking for keywords much faster than the other products you've been selling for some while. So if you're just launching, make your keywords rank as fast as possible to your listings, right? Research for the right set of keywords, something that you can rank for. So it's always a game of how you can win in the long term, starting with smaller steps. So if you try to rank for the most searched word in your entire niche with possibly 2,000 sellers in the marketplace, you might never get there. Instead, start with keywords at a long tail that have lesser search volume but still have good visibility. Try building up on that, then reach your way higher. So this is something that you have to keep in mind, that you prepare your first set of keywords that you've got to rank for. Once you are almost reaching there, you don't have to wait until it reaches the first page and then you move to the next set of keywords. But instead, once it starts reaching page 3 and page 2, you keep the first set of keywords in priority, but also start working in your second set of keywords that have possibly much better search volume but are more competitive. So you include all of these keywords in your listings first. You don't do it in parts, but you do it all together. But while you're trying to rank for them, do the first set first, long tail keywords with possibly lesser search volume, but something that will still bring you sales. Then you start looking at keywords that have considerably lower search volume, but considerably higher search volume, and at the same time something that has higher competition. But because your other keywords are ranking really well, these tend to take off much faster because you're already making sales. There's a lot of history associated with your product listing, so it works really well. So this is something that I would really advise new sellers to start looking at if you're just launching.
Yep, and if you have the budget, I think you can also look into micro influencers, as Sunitha already mentioned, that your social media marketing has to, also improve, because most of the people like me or other people like your potential customers, it's so easy for them to just see a product on Amazon in a micro influencers page and then just click on it, and that will lead to your Amazon listing page. So that's just a click where people don't even have to think, they don't have time to rethink the purchase, and that's how you bag the item. So that's interesting. And if you like this live, which was preparation for for 2021, we're also coming up with a event, 3-day event soon in February. So let us know in the comment section below what you would like to see in that event, and we'll cover the topics accordingly. So before I end this live, Yoni, I just want to ask you, what is Getida? I like the fancy banner that you have there. So you know what? Take 10 seconds and tell us what Getida is and what Getida does.
You got it. Thank you so much. So essentially, Getida, the word Getida itself is actually an acronym. You can say Getida, Getida, doesn't really matter. It stands for Get IDA, which stands for Get Intelligent Data Analytics. Essentially, we're a technology company. And what we're really famous for, we're the largest organization in the world dedicated to Amazon FBA auditing and reimbursement. So if there's any reimbursements or money that's owed to you as a seller and you're not getting it back, we're going to help you get everything that you're eligible back in your pocket, because it's better for the seller to have the money back in their pocket instead of going to waste. So that's kind of what we do. We're going to be able to go back 18 months and check all the data and then get you all this money back. It's free to join. It doesn't cost anything. There's no subscription. There's nothing up front. There's no retainers. You can stop at any time. We only charge a fee from the recovery. So only if we're successful in getting you money back that wasn't there before, we're going to charge a fee from the recovery. The fee is 25%. So let's say, for example, we got you $100 back that wasn't there before. Our fee would be $25. So it makes it very flexible. So it doesn't matter if you're at the beginning of the way or the largest seller in the world, which we do work with. It's free to join. It's free to try. It doesn't cost anything, and we'll accept anybody that comes our way. We were just voted, I think also, not voted, but we just made it to the top 100 companies, the most important companies in e-commerce. And I believe that SellerApp made it that list as well. So congratulations,
Yeah.
SellerApp. So
Yeah.
we take pride. Yeah, we didn't expect it. We didn't know. We just take pride in the ability to help others and do it all day, every day, and work very hard for it, and again, eventually get recognized. So if you sell on Amazon, if you want to get access to more money, more funding, and only pay if we're successful, we're the solution for you. But in any case, we're very friendly, so you can always reach out with any problems or questions. We'll be happy to help.
Yep, and I would like both of you so much for being here. Thank you so much. And let's do this more often. And before I end my live, I would like you all to watch a quick animated video on SellerApp. But for now, bye Sunitha and bye Yoni. I hope you all had a great time.
You got it. Thank
Bye
you so much.
bye.
Good luck, everybody.